House is the single biggest investment in one's life after buying a car. Today, I'm going to talk about how to plan and save enough money for a down payment for a house or a rental property. Hi, my name is Sunny and welcome to my channel Sunny Snippets. On this channel, I try to make videos about the topics of financial knowledge and awareness, make it simple to understand so that my audience is well informed. I know saving for the down payment and planning to buy a property can be a daunting task at first. I'm going to share some lessons I have learned, mistakes that I have made based on my years of experience owning, buying and selling of properties, as that might be helpful to you in reducing the learning curve and speeding up the whole process. I thought it would be a great idea to go back to the basics and talk about how to save up enough money for a down payment, what the lenders look at, credit score, etc. I'm going to share them in the next 8 to 10 minutes, so I suggest you guys to watch this till the very end. And if you are new to this channel, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, as this will help my channel with YouTube algorithm and will be highly appreciated. I think the most important step in the whole process is changing your thought process from a rental to a ownership mindset. Like everything in life, you need to make some sort of sacrifice in your wants to achieve something in life. Some people are perfectly comfortable in their present financial situation, do not want to rock the boat and make a transition from a tenant to a house owner. The house ownership demands you to be financially responsible, plan for financial emergencies or expenses, thus rewarding you with an appreciating asset using which you can plan your retirement. As they say, if you put heart, soul and effort into something, the chances are you can expect positive outcomes, and the decision to own a house or a rental property is no exception. The next step is you need to put some money down from your own resources as your initial equity in the property, which is called down payment. This down payment can vary from 5% to 25% depending upon the nature of the transaction and other qualifying criteria. The bank or the lender wants to see that you invest your own money first, thus having your skin in the game. Their logic is that just in case if there's a loss, the lender has some cushion and you take that first hit. If you pay less than 20% down on a deal, that makes the bank little uncomfortable as per their risk assessment, so they make sure you take a private mortgage insurance. This gives the assurance to the bank that their money is secured in case of any default in payment, since the owner of the property has put in less amount as a down payment. This added layer of security for the bank comes at a cost to you, which can be anything between 0.5% to 1% of the total loan amount annually. This extra fee you can pay it upfront ahead of time, and that money does not go towards your equity. Or it can be added onto your loan amount, which you can pay along with your mortgage as one bundle payment. If you have got enough equity in the house and still paying your mortgage insurance as your initial down payment was less than 20%, you can even think about refinancing your house once you have more than 20% equity in the house, just to get rid of that private mortgage insurance. Talk to the mortgage advisor in your area and he can better advise you, as the refinancing rules keep on changing from time to time. When you have made up your mind, now you have to prioritize saving for the house and maybe need to scale back on some of your expenses. You cannot expect to buy a $400,000 house with $10,000 savings, it's not practically possible. Try to keep the money that you need for your day-to-day expenses in the checking account, as there is almost 0% interest payable on that money. You can park the rest of your savings in a type of account where your principal is protected and at least you get some return on it. A high interest savings account can be a good idea. Another thing you can do is open up another savings account and set up automatically that a particular dollar amount goes out of your checking account on weekly or monthly basis into this new savings account. In other ways, try to automate your savings, as at times you might forget to go to the bank and make a transfer from your checking account into this new savings account. I have done both the things in my personal life to automate my transfers, get some return on the money in my savings account, and thus ensuring in the process that my principal is protected. This ensures that regularly some money is put aside in an automated way. It can also help you in avoiding overspending, as there is less disposable money available in your checking account. Technology has made our shopping experience much easier by allowing us to just tap using our credit or debit card while spending. But on the flip side, it has made it difficult for people who want to save money, as the temptation along with the ease of use of plastic money is harder to resist. So simple way out is to track your weekly or monthly expenses, and there are so many free online tools available for that. You can even use a simple Excel sheet. This way you can be on target to save for your down payment. The bank or the lender will look at your income and expenses. For that, they will ask for about 6 months of your bank statements. This is to verify that you are living within your means, checking the flow of regular income into your account, and making sure that there are no huge unexplained deposits or withdrawals. The lender will use this information to make sure that your total debt ratio is less than 44% of your net income. This way, they can ensure that you will never be tight with money and can easily afford the monthly mortgage payments. Generally, lenders want to see your 2 years of tax returns, depending upon whether you are an employee or self-employed. This is to make sure that your income is consistent. If, as a business owner, you are writing off a bunch of stuff against your income, the lender will look at your net income after deductions and then take an average of last 2 years. This is the most important 3-digit number in your financial life. It is the score given by the credit reporting companies like Equifax based on your credit history, how good or bad you have been using credit in your life. A good credit score will let the lender give you a credit at a very attractive rate, and your mortgage application can be rejected if the credit score is pretty bad or there is a bankruptcy on your credit file. This is my take, where I have tried to show how you can plan to buy a house or rental property and save for it. As a disclaimer, please consult a financial advisor before investing, as I'm just a random guy making YouTube videos and sharing my personal experience on how to save for a house. If you have found value in the content that I make, please help me and my channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing it. Press the notification button to get notified about the latest videos that I make. Thanks for watching. See you next time on your channel, Sunny Snippets.